When I had first read about Burning Man, I couldn't believe it. It wasn't what they did that surprised me. It's that I had missed 11 of them already without hearing about it sooner. So for 9 months, I waited and planned my trip. I invited my best friend, Michael Rossetti, to come along, record sound, and be my technical advisor. And off we went. I did, of course, research the facts about what I was going to see. Very simply put, in 1986, an artist, Larry Harvey, sort of started all this when he burned a wooden man on the beach of San Francisco. Since then, due to the physical limitations of that area and the mob the event caused, at the suggestion of friends, he moved to Nevada's Black Rock Desert, some 125 miles north of Reno, to spread out. There, far from the amenities of urban life, in a lake bed that spans 5 miles, upwards of 16,000 people come to set up a temporary autonomous zone, an instant city, where they display their art, form theme camps, perform shows, and everything else on this, the great American holiday of Labor Day weekend. So going there, I did have the facts behind me, but I had no idea what to expect.
Hey, how's it going?
Alrighty, you guys got a sticker or tickets or what?
Tickets, yeah.
Now, I'm gonna give you a map on my other belt. And this will direct you all around camp. I haven't even looked at it yet. We got about 10 minutes ago.
All right.
So what you want to do, you see the big purple man?
Got it.
No camping.
Okay.
No camping past that. Once you get in, you go the left to the right. The left is kind of filled up, so you might want to go to the right if you want a little more room.
All right.
But that's basically how it works.
What's your name?
Tom.
Tom, nice meeting you, man.
You
nice
too.
to meet you, man.
Y'all have a good time.
We will.
The map Tom had given us revealed the Burning Man area as half circles of camps unfolding from no man's land, where the man and other art would exist in a pedestrian-only area. So, Tuesday evening, tired and disoriented from our travels and well before the coming weekend festivities, we randomly picked a spot in the dark for the RV and explored without our cameras. We would start working on Wednesday. Waking up to Burning Man in the making is like being a child in a small town watching a traveling fair assemble. Much of what I was seeing, I couldn't quite glean what its final purpose would be, but I was fascinated nonetheless. And everywhere we went, if people weren't building their own camps, they were helping someone else. It was communal, and there was a positive energy about the place that I could already feel. A community was forming of strangers that traveled from all over the world.
Where'd you come from, Don?
Drove from Norwalk, Connecticut.
How long did it take you to get here?
I did about 1,000 miles a day it took me about 3 days.
Why are you here?
You know, it's weird. I was just possessed by this need to come here. I couldn't even stop myself.
How did you get here?
I took Highway 80 to Winnemucca, Nevada, and then I took a 100-mile dirt road up to Gerlach and then cut over.
And was the dirt road dangerous?
Not too dangerous. It was pretty rutty. There were a lot of rabbits, really dark. There wasn't a soul out there. Well, at least none that I saw.
And you drove alone?
I did, absolutely.
And were you afraid driving alone?
Yeah, I kept thinking about aliens and how if there were aliens, they would get me right then. You know, Nevada, desert, alone. It's like any second that radio's gonna fuzz out and get me.
This is my first Burning Man, and you know what? I heard about it on the internet, which is kind of interesting. Checking out the website and seeing what it was all about, and it looked pretty zany. So that's why I came up here, drove all the way from Vancouver, Canada. Come from
Milton, Massachusetts, born and bred. You know, been to school all my life in the Northeast. So understanding the credos, and now I'm in the process of shucking them. I took a year off last year from Wesleyan and moved to New Orleans with my high school buddies. And I don't know, it's just an interesting, I'm on this year of spin of like, Fortuna's been nice to me. And I'm riding her high.
They call me Death Valley Kelly because I spend a lot of time down there. That's actually where I was headed. And it was 126 and 12 hours out, and I needed desert bad. And I picked up a map of Nevada and saw an area called the Black Rock Desert. It looked pretty far removed that I could get to in 8 or 10 hours. It would probably be a lot warmer, cooler. And the next morning I picked up the paper and read an article on the Burning Man, and it was where I was going, when I was going, and I thought that was pretty synchronistic. And I came to be part of it, and because it primarily touched my tribal, my sense of community that I've been without for so long. And from what little I read, it seemed really important.
Is this your first Burning Man?
No, I was here in '95, actually. I missed last year.
How was the '95 experience for you?
It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. The people, the energy, the movement. It felt so good I had to come back, and I'd like to come back every year for the rest of my life. I'll be 80, I'll wheelchair in.
Is this your first Burning Man?
First Burning Man. I have a penchant for carnival and grotesque and expression and things like that. I don't know why. I think it's about lack in my life. You know, I'd start to suck it in from the people around me. I don't suck it in. I sort of filter it through, I think. Give it out in my own way. First Burning Man.
The whole idea that people are coming from all these different places to be here at one central location, this sort of like big, huge existential void on the desert, dry, arid land, and it's a huge, colorful, juicy community in the midst of that, and I think that's pretty interesting.
Community is what Burning Man is all about, and the organization does a lot to foster that feeling. Burning Man's own rangers combine with the local police and fire officials to provide safety. There's a cafe, a store for water. They have an information board for ads about your camp and to help you locate friends, combined with an almost daily newspaper to help you know what's been going on and what's coming up. And even a radio station that constantly provides information on the happenings around town. They actually make city blocks in the playa, and there are lamplighters that illuminate these streets at night. Everything they do makes you feel like you're in the coolest little city you've ever seen, except this city is full of artists.
They invited me to come out and put my snakes up to guard their man till he gets burned, and they get burned, so it ought to be quite an event.
So your art's getting burned along with the Burning Man?
You bet, you bet. Everything's this is gonna go up just like the man. This was a couple months in the process, the snakes itself, and then I've been out here for a week trying to put this thing together. Got it all up and it snapped on me, so one of my snakes broke in half, which was a little bit upsetting, but I've got it bolted back together and put back up, and now I'm trying it all over again.
This is a wonderful time for candid and honest expression.
We're getting this together for the first time today, so it's a little scary.
This will be your first time ever showing this to the public?
Yeah. We're the Church of the Orbital Orgy, and if you enter our sphere of influence, we'll make you a minister. So you can watch our video and we'll teach you how to be a minister in our church. So while you're strapped into the seat, this pack actually bolts onto the back of the seat here. This is all the electronics back here. The seat is suspended in the middle. You get strapped in the seat and you spin around. And you watch the video on this little VR headset. There's 2 cassette decks in here, and they're playing back 4 channels of audio. One has a pretty cool techno soundtrack, and the other one is playing back random sound bites.
Wear the helmet just during the film.
There's 4 speakers inside the sphere, so you get sound sort of surrounding you all around. There's a camcorder here that we're just using as a VCR, and we're playing back a videotape. That's the indoctrination video. Then we got lights all around the inside of the sphere, some strobe lights and revolving police lights and whatnot. And you can't see where you're going while you're spinning. It's like, doing this is what I get off on, you know? But I really want to see people in my sphere rolling around and you know, having fun. That's what I'm up to.
My name is Hendrik. I'm coming from Mannheim, Germany, and it's the first time I installed the sculpture over here in the States. I got an invitation by Larry Harvey, and because I'm not bad for his theme, and so he asked me with this help of these guys, I erected the sculpture. So it's, I think, a nice premiere. The first premiere was in the Moroccan Sahara, and we are back in the desert. For me, the sculpture has three messages. The first one is a temporary give back to planet Earth, which means a lot of fossils in the shape of oil and coal is taken out from that planet, and I just want to make a temporary give back to planet Earth by this installation. So the second idea was to give people an idea what has been before Adam and Eve, and that it took a long time to come into existence. And the third one is, which is I think most important for that people out here, to feel the evolution by entering the sculpture in the middle, getting bigger till they are upright walking. They started like an amphib and grow bigger and bigger.
That was great. Yeah?
It was really good to work on the man. I didn't expect it. I figured he'd be up by the time I got out here, and I don't know, it made it a much better experience being out here early and really working really hard to make this thing happen, you know?
What kind of work did he do on the man itself?
Everything from building the platform that he stands on to stacking the hay bales in the middle of a 60-mile-an-hour dust storm to helping assemble him and helping pull him up and putting the augers in for the guy lines, and I don't know, it was about 5 days worth of work on him. It's just great to be with this many people who are out here for nothing but the love of being out here, you know? Take time off from work and come out here and work twice as hard as they do at their day job, you know, and I don't know, just for the pure love of it.
And what do you got here, Don?
Well, what we have is probably the largest chupacabra in the state of Nevada at this time. He is 8 feet tall. He has Jello Biafra in his mouth, which is a forked tongue of truth and lies. The left side is lies, the right side is truth. He is the Mexican Bigfoot, is the equivalent of Bigfoot. He's a subterranean extraterrestrial. He eats livestock, or kills livestock by the process of extending a tube which he injects into the throat, into the main artery, sucking the life out of the creature. The corpses do not decay. Some of the corpses have been found as many as 15 years ago, and they are still perfectly preserved. Not even hair missing. I mean, they're like they came right off the showroom.
I also heard you're a member of the Wood Pussy organization. What is that?
It's a multinational death corporation, and I'm a part of it, of course.
How did Wood Pussy come about?
An orgy in a hot tub in Hollywood, California.
Excellent.
On Easter weekend. It was Passover or Pass Out was the theme.
And Spin Magazine has rated you guys
third worst band in America, worst punk band.
It's like the evolution of the hippies to high-tech psychedelia. It's kind of like the 60s, a high-tech 60s.
Is this your first time at Burning Man?
First Burning Man, yeah. I'm totally blown away by it. I've met some of the most amazing people I've ever met. There's just so many people making contraptions, and I love contraptions, so just all kinds of just wonderful artists here, and everyone's really nice. It's been a really good experience.
Big toy shop for you then?
It's big. I feel like a kid, making a tent under the coffee table or something, you know? I can just come here and play. This is play for me, you know? I don't have to do any serious work. I'm just goofing around with this stuff, you know? And I just couldn't be happier to be here. It's campground for grown-ups.
It's my first time out here, but I performed with the Cockroaches in San Francisco at one of the fundraisers last year, and kind of got turned on to the artistic end of this, which I really, there was so much bad press, and there still is, that I'm hoping that somebody will pick up on the end of it, that they are promoting artists, and they are promoting the aspect of this being some kind of a cultural event, which, you know, doesn't take place.
That's what makes this event so important. The organization does everything it can to get people to come here and present their art to each other in an environment that is totally inviting. You can be yourself, or anything you can dream of here, and it doesn't matter.
You know, anything that you have ever done, haven't ever conceived of doing, or wouldn't even ever want to do, you can do here. I mean, there's no two ways about it. It can be done. And to me, that's what life should be about, is challenging yourself. And this definitely can challenge people. They can challenge people because you may see things you don't necessarily ever expect you would see, things you might not, some things that might, I don't want to say are obscene to you, but there might be some things that are out there that maybe you aren't used to being around. So you need to be able to challenge yourself, and that's what we like to do out here with the art that you see out here and the way people are running around. Some people might say, oh, it's childish, or people just being silly, but no, this is a place where if you don't explore who you are deep down inside and let it come out, you know, then you'll never know who you really are. And this is a place where I can come out and really explore who I am and really find who I am. It's a very spiritual, very strong place. There's a real connection between the people out here. And that's why everybody is family. And you leave here knowing people. I mean, I know you guys now, you know. I saw you again, I go, hey, how are you? How's your filming going? And that helps. So, you know, this is what that place all about. Coming up tonight on the main stage, Captured by Robots, Ghost-Like Son, Michael Pepe will be doing a spoken word performance piece. Nancy Trainer and Mr. Lucky and the Extra Natural with one of my favorite groups, the Toykastra. And Bindle Stiff Family Circus, which Dr. Ducky Doolittle, but I'm sure will be doing a performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, take a little stroll with me down the Bindle Stiff Family Midway of Madness. I'll present to you medical miracles. I'll present to you human oddities and flat-out freaks of nature.
The Bindle Stiff Family Circus hails from New York City, and this is our 4th national tour, and this is the 2nd time we've made Burning Man a stop on the route.
Why do you like to stop at Burning Man?
For me, this is a place to be amazed by people. I like the amount of energy that goes into creating this event. I mean, it's all about artists playing with each other and for each other.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ducky. Of course, my area of specialty is, if you would, this is Lorraine, my assistant, Ramona Bindlestiff, sexology. But I'm here tonight to talk to you all about an area that holds special interest to me, and that is, of course, the rectum. Now, the anus is a hot, moist place capped with a sphincter muscle. People like to stick stuff in there for the thrill of it, and that's okay. But as a doctor, I've done a little research on the matter, and if you're going to stick something in your ass, you need to keep it clean. Wear or cover your implement of choice with a condom, and sanitize when you're done. When fisting, never go past the length of the glove.
You can take the screwdriver and put it all the way back in the head. Oh. And with a little bitty turn to the right, you're gonna feel a hell of a lot better. But the only problem now is I'm feeling fucking fine, but I got this goddamn screwdriver stuck in my head. And I gotta ask my dear sister, the lovely Philomena, to come get it out.
What's the matter? It tastes like chicken.
Now, sticking something in your ass is called analipsation. Can you say that? Analipsation. Right. Okay, remember that. You're going to need it. Now, I've tabulated cases in which items were recovered from human rectums, and I've got a few examples here for you. Let's start with a 9-inch zucchini was pulled out of someone's ass.
For those of you that know me, you'll know that when it comes to deep throating, I am a professional. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, 22 inches of solid steel going down my throat. and into my stomach.
An 11-inch carrot. Where is that rabbit anyway?
Oh, it can't get much bigger, Bunny.
A banana encased in a condom. Now that's smart. A condom.
What I need, ladies and gentlemen, is that one individual who's ready right here to say, fuck it all. Well, my dear sister, brother, cousin, Floating Rags is gonna kind of scout you out and just find that perfect individual. Hang on.
This is my favorite food product. A bottle of Mrs. Butterworth syrup.
Okay, Chris, what's gonna happen now is you're gonna go stand right over here, kind of back up a little more against the wall.
2 jars of Vaseline and 1 ass. Like they got confused as to what it means to lubricate or something.
It's on the count of 3. I'm gonna be taking this throwing knife and hurling it through the air. It's gonna make 2 solid rotations. And then the point of it is gonna pop the tip of that balloon and stick in the board behind you. Okay. But ladies and gentlemen, that's still not enough danger, I don't think, for this act. So what I'm gonna do is do it blindfolded.
An 18-inch length of umbrella handle.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. A dumb fuck? You're just standing there expecting me to really throw it. What the fuck is up with you? God damn it, get back out there. God. You're the kind of guy that's gonna get burned out here if you're not careful. Hey, come stand in front of my big flame-throwing jaw break-in contraption.
Are you a spectator or are you a contributor to this Burning Man?
I'll probably be both.
What do you think you'll contribute?
I don't know, to any wild group activities that go on, I'll be happy to participate in.
Can save the world from many a disease. Make better paper without cutting trees. George Washington, father of your nation, smoked his homegrown medication. Thomas Jefferson, known for the Bill of Rights, smoked his herb both day and night. Hemp, hemp. Hemp, hemp. Hemp, hemp. Hemp, hemp. Doctors should prescribe it, that is for sure. For glaucoma and asthma, my friends, it is a cure. Legalize it, and I man will advertise it. I love you.
Burning Man definitely has a pattern to it. The days and nights that lead up to the weekend are laid back. Many are focused on building their camps and art, and visiting their friends from past events. There are still plenty of parties, but Friday night is when things really get swinging. Most everything is built, and more people that come only for the weekend have arrived. This night is the first night when the entire place goes nuts.
Dreadlock Buster, fighting an arrival, fighting for survival, driven from the mainland to the Caribbean. This is the man that they call Fantuzzi. Let me tell you something juicy. Move your body, move your body. Oh. Don't give me that, don't give me no crack, say. Don't give me that, don't give me no crack, crack. Don't give me that, don't give me no crack, say. Move your body. Move your body, move your body.
Watching may make you wonder how all this can go on legally, but the Washoe County Sheriff's Department allows a regulated anarchy here. With upwards of 16,000 people from all 50 states and 12 countries, there needs to be some control. But the police are pretty cool. They don't enforce Nevada's nudity laws, and they only arrest people dumb enough to do drugs in the open. The rest is a don't endanger anyone or yourself attitude that led to only 2 arrests in '97. One for DUI, the other for a man with a gun that was threatening people at a neighboring camp. They aren't there to police lifestyles, just to help in times of emergencies. Still, there is a lot of resentment to some surrounding the police presence and the cost of it. Others claim Burning Man has sold out, but I don't agree. The coolest part of the event for me was watching a painted woman walk right by a cop, undisturbed.
You're so beautiful. Cut loose. Ancient mother goddess, holy mother goddess, ancient mother goddess,
Burning Man believes in collective survival. They call you a citizen of Black Rock City while you are here, and consider membership a privilege. The rules are simple. No driving in camp, be careful with your fire, respect the land, no guns, and buy a ticket. This event isn't cheap to put on. What they are involved in is the most extreme way to test the limits of individual freedom and collective responsibility. Larry Harvey says that liberty is something you enjoy alone, but freedom is a state that's shared with others.
Thank you all for coming. God bless you. We'll see you soon, huh? Fantuzzi. This is Fantuzzi and the Flexibles. And blessed are the flexible, for they shall never be bent out of shape. Remember, we are celebrating the new man, the new woman. Free, courageous, creative.
When I first got here, it was like, I was discussing with these guys, it was kind of, I got a certain sense of depression came over me because these cats they've gone all out, you know? I mean, it's a community action, and the effort and the energy and the time that these guys have put into it, and I thought jumping on an airplane, trains, planes, and automobiles to get here was tough, but, I have a tent and I have, a dream. But these guys just went all out, man. I mean, props. Good job.
That's the feeling I was having. Since this was my first Burning Man, I was so proud to have flown out, rented my RV, and driven here from Reno. Then, after I was here a while, I started to feel inadequate when I saw all of the work that goes into the art and camps. And if you think that some of the art you have seen may not be all that hard to make, consider how hard it was to get here. From San Francisco, Boston, Germany, and who else knows where. You have to have a gig here.
We love people we laugh with. If you look at the personal ads, good sense of humor, somebody who will make me laugh is the most frequently cited attribute both couples seek in a partner. And you know, there's only so much you can do about how you look. Working on your sense of humor is the best way most people have of making themselves more attractive. Humor being easier to collect than to write. It's easiest to sit here and ask everybody, how have you gotten laughing during sex? Some of the best ones today were a fella had his vibrating pager go off as his girlfriend was giving him a hand job in the car just before he came, so they were cracking up as they were coming. Medical doctor capsized in a canoe right at the point of orgasm. And the experience of coming in cold water was not only profoundly funny, but it changed his sex life permanently. He's been into cold baths for potency ever since. I discovered laughing sex in my Wonderbug Volkswagen here. A woman jumped in my lap, and the pelvic contractions of laughter being focused by her butt against the steering wheel forced the pelvic contractions right down on my penis. We were in the middle of a parking lot in Santa Monica. She just unexpectedly leapt in my lap. And she kept laughing and laughing at where we were doing this. And that, man, I want to do it like this all the time. You know, her love changed my life. Great gift. One of the sweetest things of love I've ever known. And I think if I can get more people laughing and loving, that's one of the biggest things I can accomplish in this lifetime.
What I'd like to know, Jerry, is could I get you to represent me in the sale of my tent space?
Well, you know, I am looking for proxies from all landowners in Black Rock City. In fact, there will be some sort of notice mailed out to all of you come next week.
Excellent. Well, can we do like a lease buyout kind of thing? See, I want to parlay my profits so that I can get over reinvest.
Well, no, see, I don't know what kind of deal I can make you. This is very good location here.
We'll meet right
nice
here
intersection.
Tonight.
Very
we'll
good possibilities. Okay, let's do lunch. And your name again, sir?
John Martin. Yeah.
John
yeah,
Martin.
Really
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Basically here trying to spread the message of interdimensional awareness and personally my own fourth lobe development kit. A very useful and important introduction for humanity, being that you know, it's our evolutionary birthright really to have four lobes with the brain, which would finally allow us access to all planes of dimensionality.
What's your favorite camp?
If I had to pick, probably Bianca's Smut Shack.
Several people have complimented Bianca's.
Absolutely. I ate a cherry Pop-Tart, I read some porn, I lazed on the couch, I painted somebody's fingernails. What more do you want?
It was hard for me not to think of this as a twisted Epcot Center as I walked around Burningman. Each camp was like its own country. Some even offered passports. And each had its own feel. They are the fantasies of the designers. You could make bicycles, learn about sex, play in large games of chess, Twister with 40 people, whatever. These camps were a strange home for the makers. And I kept wondering how cool the world would become if these creators returned to their suburban lives and kept their camp going in the backyard all year round. How would people react to enormous balls you could play in, camps devoted to enjoyment of pure pleasure, weird circuses, and DJs in the open? These people make you hope the world would gleefully accept anything. But we know better. Entering a camp like Bianca's with a camera is not only uncool, it's invasive. One thing we learned early on is that even though they were everywhere, the media was not welcome at this event. Unless of course you participated. You have to put in time helping others if you want a real interview here. You have to go in the mud yourself. You have to get naked in the hot springs. Participation is key, and as people got to know us and what we were trying to do, they loosened up. We became friends. And at night, when people would go nuts, we dressed as nuns, recording the sins of others for God and giving absolution in the desert with Oreo cookies instead of wafers. Burning Man isn't something that should be experienced passively. You know, like this documentary.
We are the Documenting Nuns. Recording the sins of others for playback later.
My name is April Bescott. I was good for 5 whole minutes. Really good. I didn't do anything wrong.
Have you sinned today, young lady?
I've thought of sinning, but I haven't actually managed to.
So you have indeed sinned in the mind.
That's true. But for 5 minutes, I was not sinning in the mind. I was perfectly pure.
Were you sleeping?
No.
Because that's not the safety zone of sin, you know, young lady.
A lemon and a jar of cold cream in one ass.
Miss Sticky Crude Stella, imploring all Burning Man participants to participate, not simply to observe, to participate! Participate!
Okay, kitchenware. Okay, ready? It's a plastic spatula. Like they couldn't get it all out. They had to go in there and get that last bit.
You must give us beer or show us your genitalia.
Everything is in full function on Saturday night. Thousands more have arrived today and all are primed to party. One of the night's main attractions is Ishtar, an opera of immense proportions performed on the playa. Ishtar, directed by Pepe Ozon, tells the story of an ancient Babylonian cult of sacred prostitution, keeping in tune with this year's Burning Man theme of fertility. The story goes that in the first days, when heaven separated from earth, the serpent that could not be charmed made its nest in the hulapoo tree, and from her egg, Ishtar was created. And Ishtar set out by herself and poured the cream of her breast into all wombs, and over all the fields of the earth, and every springtime, the rescue of Tammuz from the underworld by the goddess of love closes a cycle of death and resurrection, proclaiming the triumph of life and love through the power of fertility. Performed by the crew of the San Franciscan-based Firelingam, over 100 dancers, fire eaters, nymphs, monsters, and angels celebrate the power of love in adoration to the goddess by burning, in the climax of their worship, the 45-foot sculpture to ashes.
I think what Pepe Ozon does is just truly visionary.
Yeah, I was convinced after watching that performance that an alien spaceship was going to land and take us all away.
You know, I want naked women, fire, torches, movement, paint.
Pure pagan. Pure pagan. My favorite stuff.
Aka. Ishtar.
How many Burning Mans have you been to?
5. Aka.
What do you like most about the Burning Man events?
I like being in a place where people aren't congealed with urban decay and like they're worried about their silly little problems that they have to deal with in the city. They come out here and like want to plug into expressionism. Like with this thing, like we probably had 30 people that we didn't know help us build it. And you know, it's just like sort of a communal thing. It's a tribal thing.
A 14-inch vibrator with 2 D-cell batteries. I can understand that.
Fire is of course the namesake of this event, but face it, if you really want to out-hip the hipsters, designing with ice in the desert is just the way to go. My favorite was this sundial designed by Jim Mason. At over 10 feet in diameter, and its strategic placement down the boulevard from the man itself, it was a focal point for the camp. The sculpture told the time from its sundial arm that emerged from the top, plus clocks had been frozen inside to evoke deeper meanings of what time means to individuals. This is an important theory of Burning Man. There is a loose schedule, but nothing goes off on time. This was troubling to me as I tried unsuccessfully to cover this event. But the fact is, you leave time when you come here. This is about experience. Like all great resorts, Burning Man has its own day spa where you can get away from it all and enjoy the heated water of the fly-hot springs. And why not? We were actually working here, which was a severe bummer. So in the afternoon, we would take the bus from Central Camp to these heated pools, some too hot to be comfortable, soak, apply mud, and relax.
I quit my job to come do this.
Did you really?
Absolutely.
That's excellent. They wouldn't let you go, huh?
I knew I wasn't going to get the time off, and I was tired of my job anyway, so I said, screw it, I'm going to Nevada.
99.5 FM radio, Free Burning Man. It's getting hot. Please drink your water or anything else that you have. And that's very important. You want to do that. Suntan lotion important. Please keep an eye on your animals. Please keep an eye on the dogs. Please pick up all the dog crap. Please pick up your cigarettes. It's all called garbage. And also, another request when it comes to porta potty use, please put the lid down after you're done. It's stinky. I don't like that stuff, okay? Locksmith is still needed at the Nub Circus. They're north off on the Esplanade. And Camp Mystery Spot is looking for Jim Mason or anybody who is going to Reno. Actually, they want to meet Jim because they want to kind of coordinate, you know, together. But they want to ride to Reno and back so they can drop off their truck. So anybody who's going into Reno, Camp Mystery Spot. That's kind of where the House of Doors is. I hope you people have a map because it would really help. We have 1,001 theme camps. Don't sip your water. You've got to gulp it. You've got to suck it down. I hope you brought enough to do that. You want to just drink down this water.
Burning Man constantly reminds participants about the struggle to survive. We are in the desert here, and everyone engages in collective survival. You are required to bring in all necessities to ensure this: food, water, fuel, shelter. Not everyone remembers, of course, and the trading process just makes the experience that much more fun. Buying is a no-no. The only sales are supposed to be the local high school that sells water and ice to raise money for the boosters. There is also a Frontier store that sells the basics like car batteries and sunscreen. But this is a swap meet, and it is wonderful to see how, in the absence of service industries, care for strangers becomes more dominant.
That's a real one.
Along with the essentials, you need to be aware of the weather. The playa is an unpredictable place. Rain and windstorms come quickly and are very powerful. These storm cells produce instant whiteouts that leave a fine dust on all items in your camp and your body.
I'm getting the fear. So here we are, just enjoying a leisurely tornado at Burning Man. Covering. Sorry, Tom. I got so dusty.
This one I got from Surgery Magazine reported a case of a 39-year-old married white male lawyer presented with a self-inserted perfume bottle in his rectum. Now, he was at home, he got the perfume bottle stuck, he decided he would try to get it out himself using a back scratcher. By the time he hit the hospital, he had a bottle of perfume and a back scratcher in his ass. What kind of perfume was it, you're asking? It was Impulse body spray.
At Burning Man, after a good outfit of course, the most important thing is water. You need about 2 gallons a day to stay healthy out here, and there is a need for showers and washing dishes, which ups the ante. But you learn in your first year that Burning Man regulars in no way compromise their lifestyle to be in the middle of nowhere. Barbecues, generators, lights, and living room furniture go a long way to take away the camping aspect of this event. Style and aesthetics reign here. There is an entire section of the Burning Man website devoted to surviving with style with tips from past year's participants to make life easier, and they also mail you tons of reading material to help you out. But still, the medical teams here treat tens of heat injuries. I think that Americans forget they live in a country with a real desert. Another part of the website lauds the leave no trace position. Whatever you bring in, you take out with you, including your garbage and ashes, which seems to be one of the largest problems the organization faces since some people don't clean up, and worse, others just ditch their garbage on the side of the road on the way out of the desert. For weeks after the event, volunteers come back from San Francisco to clean up and settle the locals' anger, which makes trying to stage this event harder and harder every year. To try to describe Burning Man and the fantastic community that it forms and do it justice is impossible. It must be seen. I joke that shooting it is like shooting a 40-ring circus without a schedule and trying to tell a story about it. Burning Man has been called a festival, pagan, even an orgy, but none do this event justice. I felt that this was like some quirky tribe on its way across a desert, stopping off at an oasis before it moved on. It is a paradox of artistic explosion on a colorless desert. It is a triumph of the human spirit over a soulless society that constantly discourages this kind of self-expression. Larry Harvey calls it the national alternative to Prozac.
This one I can understand. This one here is Lee press-on nails. Like I went in with 5 and I came out with 4.
What's your favorite thing you've seen this year at Burning Man?
The man. Absolutely, the man himself. He's beautiful. He's just, I've seen him in the daytime and all his ribs and his legs, it's just so perfectly constructed. And then of course at night, he just lights up, glows. I love him.
Your first time here, you want to know one thing. Why the man? Why spend so much time on such an exquisite piece of art just to see it burn? Larry Harvey originally built and burned it as a private act of purgation, and now it is a very public act. It has become more than art, more than a beacon. It has become a different personal symbol to thousands of different people. At first it reminded me of being in New York and knowing where I was by looking at the Statue of Liberty. And, much like that statue, the man may have lost some of its original symbolism it was invented for. But you never escape the feeling while you're looking at it that come Monday morning, it'll be gone forever. burning of the man, like so many things here, feels like a primal ritual. It begins with a parade from Central Camp, down the lamplit Main Street, to the man itself. Like an offering to a god most people wouldn't even understand, thousands come to celebrate a happening that totally accepts them for what they are. The excitement level at this moment is enormous. The culmination of the past week's festivities and the past year's planning comes to a peak now. Everywhere you look, crowds are celebrating in a communal atmosphere I had never experienced before. I had mixed emotions that night. I wanted to see the burning that gives this event its name, but I knew the following morning, everyone would begin the packing up process and start heading home, ending a great week. I also knew that at this moment, the burning of the man was giving every other person here a different feeling, and they would take that feeling home with them to all parts of the world.
What does the burning of the man at the end signify to you?
That's a new year. To me, that's my new year.
Everything's in birth, not in death, you know, is the idea that, you know, to start over, the rebirth of things. And that's kind of the end of Burning Man, as what I see it, is what's important to me.
It's a little bit sad to see some of this beautiful stuff go, but it's like, for me, the joy is making it, actually, and actually watching people use it and stuff. But after that, I mean, I don't care. It's on to the next project.
I love a good fire. Just stealing out into the woods and, you know, setting things on fire has always been a nice way of communicating with the land around. You know, lighting up in the midst of dark it's the most beautiful light. It's a primal thing. I know how to work it. I know how to manipulate and move things around, so I have an understanding of, I don't know, the fierce and the beautiful nature of fire. So I think it's a great way to send off all this art, burn it up.
About a year ago, I saw some. I think there were some Buddhist monks, and they were painting with sand, intricate sand drawings, intricate colors. They worked weeks on this thing, and when they completely finished it, they just swept it away.
Just the whole ritual of letting go of something, of burning it away, to look at it fresh without any baggage.
That's what it is. That's what's the strength behind it, is to take everything that's been around, that's really been bothering you, everything that's been, you know, kind of keeping you down, stressing you out, a problem in your life, and taking all those worries and cares and throwing them into the fire, and allowing it to go there. It's starting off anew. That is a real New Year to me.
He was created to be destroyed. I mean, and his span here was so brief, but at the same time, it's kind of like how people are, you know? We live, we die.
You know, people that think that everything's going to last forever have got to be either fools or idiots, as far as I'm concerned.
Come here with all these assumptions about how you're supposed to relate to people and how things are supposed to go and social etiquette. Man, that's out the door.
It sucks you into being a part of it rather than watching it and being a spectator.
It was really, really cleansing, really healing for me.
It is an art tailgate.
What a trip. It's the most psychedelic experience I've ever had in my life.
It's like reinventing a society, and I think it's a really interesting model of what is possible when you let all of those kind of reptilian fears go and you know, just be.
It just keeps growing, and I've been meeting a lot of very, very creative, wonderful people, you know, and that's real important.
As I left Burning Man, I was wondering how I was ever going to explain what it was like to others who hadn't experienced it. Michael and I fell into ridiculous comparisons. It's like Apocalypse Now meets Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was the best I could come up with. How do you tell your New England family and friends that you swam nude with hundreds of strangers, were spanked by a 6-foot bunny rabbit, rode a 3-story rocking horse, and was involved in a communal massage at Bianca's Smut Shack, never once worrying about the safety of myself or my equipment? There were moments there that I was more relaxed than ever before in my life, and I can't wait for next year.